Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Lucas and welcome to another F124 track guide. Today I'm going to be taking you around a lap of Monaco and then we're going to be analysing. So bad. Ah. Alright, so now we're going to be breaking everything down. I'm going to be using different sectors from different laps as, yeah, we first of all showed the lap that we have the Delta to, which is on the top right. And yeah, I want to mix match sectors because, yeah, the lap that we didn't really have too many good sectors in it, and I want to show sort of more of an optimal lap to give you guys, well, a better track guide out of it, right? So yeah, jump straight into it without me waffling far too much. So heading into turn one, naturally you're in 7th gear. You want to sort of straighten yourself. Now, the amount of times I've hit this left-hand side wall is, you know, if I had a penny for every time I hit that wall, I could probably fund a season of GB4. But, yeah, you want to sort of set yourself up so that you're braking in a straight sort of line. You know, setting your trajectory up straight. You want to be braking in a straight line because naturally that's the most efficient way possible. Fully on the brakes, just for a fraction of a second. Fully on the brakes, down to 4th gear. Now, again, you can see we're using every last millimetre on the left-hand side. And yeah, turn one is extremely annoying because I found, I mean, at least on time trial at the moment with the way the setup is or whatever, it is extremely easy to understeer. So you've sort of just got to throw it in and hope that you get the rotation in the right way. We drop it down to 4th gear, and there is a bit of a bump on the entry, just sort of around the turn-in point. So if you brake a bit too late, it's probably corner over. So yeah, a bump on entry. And yeah, you've got to try and cut this as much as you can. There's no other way to put it. Yeah, you're going to invalidate it a lot when you're trying to push the limit, but that's yeah, that's the way you've got to do it. You've got to try and yeet over this curb. And yeah, we opt for 4th gear. You can use 3rd gear if you want. Don't feel like you cannot use 3rd gear. I was just using 4th as I felt like when I got it right, it was just a little bit more optimal, but 3rd gear, yeah, definitely was easier to get. It was definitely a bit better for like the revs and the initial exit, but I just preferred to use 4th. That was just a preference thing. And then yeah, you've got to go all the way up to that wall on the outside and even just brush against it, give it a bit of a kiss, and yeah, that was 400s up on the Delta. So I'll play that through for you fluidly though, because I didn't actually do that. So sorry for that. So heading into turn one, straight line the braking, down to 4th, throw the car in. And yeah, sort of common theme with this game. You just throw in the front end in, and it usually sticks, or maybe it doesn't. So that's the challenge of it. Heading up now towards the casino. Yeah, actually, a key tip that I would advise, or at least this is what I've found, is round here you do not want to go super tight to the wall, as there is a bump that if you hit, which I think we avoided that time. You can see we gain time on the Delta, so up through here you don't want to go way too tight there. You want to try and sort of go round it. As I think if there's a sort of a bump somewhere on that left hand side where if you hit it you lose a few hundreds, and I think we see that a little bit on the Delta there. So yeah, you're sort of snaking your way up the hill while trying to avoid random bumps. Into here though, we're taking as wide an entry as possible. I'll play it through once fluidly so that you guys don't yeah, get confused. But yeah, we actually missed that apex, which isn't optimal, but this is actually one of the best sector ones I've done. It was a 6-1 in the end. You know, 10.13 up on that other sector one. But we'll play it through now slowly. And yeah, we're turning it, we're open, unlike in real life where you sort of tend to hug towards the inside a bit more. We're holding out 6th gear and we're taking a really wide entry. And the reason for that is A, you kind of do that in F1 games, but B, you have to wind in so much front lock that the front will just bite so much that you need to like give yourself this extra room. Otherwise, you're gonna clip that inside wall. I mean, I've hit this inside wall so many times while doing laps around here. So yeah, we go down to 4th. We do miss this apex, so that is not optimal. But this was almost set us up for a better exit in a weird way. I wouldn't advise taking this wider line, but ultimately this is somehow what worked on this particular lap. Most of the time I was obviously tight to the wall. Through here, you're obviously trying to bring it as close to the left-hand side as you can, you know, opening up this right-hander. Getting the right-hander good through here is probably the key to optimising sort of the end of Sector 1. And yeah, we get, you know, super tight to the inside wall, but the key was just carrying the speed through, holding 4th all the way through this complex, and then very, very, very easy to understeer and unload the car as you're sort of dipping down the hill again, and you can hit this wall super easily. And this wall has a hypersensitivity to wanting to invalidate you as it does in the previous corners, so something to definitely watch out for. Obviously avoiding the bump a little bit, and yeah, that was that was a 6-1 Sector 1. I'll actually play the next few corners, as I believe there is some things we can still note from here. Into Mirbo, you are dropping it down to 2nd gear from, I believe we were in 5th. Into here, it's trying to turn your brain off, because my instinct will be to trail brake into here, but so often on this game you need to brake, and when you're jumping off the brake, you just have to throw the steering in super aggressively to get the front to bite, and that's often the fastest way. Which is yeah, we sort of did a hybrid approach on this particular lap, as sometimes I just jump off the brake and throw it in. So into here, on just. Yeah, that was a nicely balanced approach. So they're trying to get on the power as quickly as you can, up to 3rd briefly. 2nd gear for this hairpin, and on this particular lap, we got some outrageous rotation, which normally doesn't happen. Normally you understeer into next week, as we kind of do through here now. The front doesn't bite. We kissed that wall slightly, and it invalidated the lap, and I honestly think we would have been 2.5 tenths up coming out of there. So that was great, and as you can see, I straight line it into the wall just because, you know, that's the way it is. But I'll play that section fluidly, so you can see what I mean. So into here, this was a sort of nice balance of braking and front slip. That was smoothly there, flat for a short period of time. Throwing the front in, but we somehow got the rear to rotate. Usually the rear sort of buckles and starts to like start almost like soft, like I don't know how to explain it in simple terms, but it feels so soft that it starts to like squat and then over rotates round, and it never endingly loses your traction. But we got it, absolutely nailed that particular time. And yeah, we were a bit wide through here, so you can take a lot of this curb, but only if you set this little short shoot out to Porte. It's all about sort of just trying not to kill the momentum through here if you can. We literally just go close to the wall, kiss it the slightest little bit, and it invalidated us for God knows what reason, because you can hit a million other walls in this lap and it does nothing. So the consistency is completely out the window. But yeah, that was that. But now I'm going to jump to another lap I've done, and I'll show you guys the remainder of the lap. Alright, so here we are with my other lap, and I'm going to just click play from here. This is not the 835, as you'll see here. We breathed near the wall and it invalidated us. I'm just playing that for the context of the lap. So, yep, I don't even know how we got close to touching it, but yeah, this is a 7-1, so a 10th slow on the Sector 1, but into the middle sector, again, carrying good momentum, and then that was the best hairpin I done in all of the laps I did. That hairpin, I'm actually going to play it for you guys, was absolutely unbelievable. We hold it in 3rd gear, and this is what I'm talking about with the front end. We are practically Scandinavian flicking into the hairpin. Look at the steering input down here. It's, you know, partial lock to the right, and then super throwing the front in, a smidge of trail braking in there, and we get that perfect sort of 4-wheeled slide, you know, front and rear in balance, which is rare, getting to the apex, and then the car just hooks up, grips up, and we gained so much time. Like, that was the best hairpin we managed. And then into, again, going wide through here, but again, the advantage of taking this sort of wider line, if you can set up that exit, is you traditionally don't upset the car as much, whereas if you take a lot of this curb, it's easier to upset the car or by, you know, up over the bumps. But again, it's all about whatever carries you the best sort of exit through this short little run. And then again, just brushing up against the wall, with whether that would have invalidated us not or not, I have absolutely no idea. Into Portier. Now, Portier is actually quite an important corner to note, because it is, don't use this, because if you're using your natural driver's instinct, you're never going to get this corner correct ever. You need to do what feels completely unnatural into here, and obviously second gear through this whole complex, full throttle for a short period of time, using all the road on the left, and then watch the steering. Super massive. You literally just have to overslip the front through there. It'll somehow grip, and that is, yeah, that's the fastest way through there. I don't really have much else to comment. Overslip all the way from the entry. You'll feel the front biting. Then you'll get this exit's actually really important. So you want to try and get on the power as early as you can. Use as much road as you need, and yeah. 0.22 up, and we were 1/10 down in sector 1 as well, so I don't even want to think about theoreticals at this point. I look at the car, I'd completely lost the plot by this point. I was so annoyed. Yeah, through the tunnel, important thing to note is you don't want to go all the way up tight to the inside, as I think the car sort of for some reason it sort of dips down and grounds out, and then you lose time on the delta. So I would advise taking a smooth sort of, not middle line, but just try and avoid that inside section if you can. Out into the sunlight again, again, braking in a straight line, braking, I believe, just past the 100-meter board. Yeah, actually relatively past the 100-meter board, let's just say 90 meters, give or take, using... Yeah, actually, it's very sketchy when you use this right-hand curb. On the very rare occasion, I actually locked my rears and completely lost the car by going like all the way. I mean, we're leaving like a smidge of margin. Obviously, it's not much, but we are leaving a fraction of margin. We use third gear through here, albeit the car bogs down quite a lot on the exit, but I think I mean, I didn't really try second through here, but third helps you carry so much momentum on the entry. And I'm going to be honest, through here kind of feels like a lottery as to whether you gain or lose the lap time. Sometimes I'll lose half a tenth to maybe even more, just for whatever reason that I didn't carry the momentum and throw the front end in on the direction change the right way. But I'll stop waffling and I'll play it. Braking, just, throwing it in, you've got to cut that as much as possible. And yeah, we pretty much nailed it through there. Don't really know what much else there is to do through that part. Seventh gear, onto the brakes, down to third. And yeah, you're sort of... It's such a weird feeling because you're sort of predicting when you're going to understeer or grip up through there. So you're trying to get as close as you can to that inside. This is literally how much you need to cut it. This, believe it or not, would have... I'm pretty confident would have been valid. I know it looks quite hard to believe, but maybe if you throw it back to the delta lap that we saw at the beginning, you will have saw that we probably cut that quite a lot again. It's quite astonishing how much you can cut certain corners, especially in these sort of chicane sections. But yeah, third gear, full throttle before we even get to that sort of left armco, and yeah, you have to get to full throttle very quickly and keep the momentum going as your revs are low. So you've got to use that sort of traction that you gain and the momentum that you've got to get the exit. Otherwise, you'll just bog down, and that delta will fly down. So yeah, through there, you've just got to thread the needle, try and make it as straight as possible, and just carry the speed. That's the number one thing. Up the gears, we hold fifth gear, using all the road, literally getting as close as you can to the walls. Into Tabac, it is literally just a lift. No braking required, and it's not even that far away from flat out. I mean, you can see it is almost not even a half lift. We actually go too hot into there and hit the wall. We do not gain time from it though, as you saw in the Delta lap, we didn't hit the wall and we were neutral, so we didn't gain anything from actually hitting the wall there, which is, I guess, the point I'm making is that it's not necessarily an optimal thing to always hit the wall, as much as sometimes you might gain from it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but yeah, trying to get as close to that inside wall as you can, try and carry them out. We don't get it nailed on this particular lap. Now into sector 3, swimming pool section. Yeah, we don't actually optimise this sector 3. I think the best sector 3 we done was on the first lap, which I might throw back to. But yeah, through here, actually, key thing to note is don't go too wide for this right-hander, as the car can sort of ground out and it doesn't really like it. So I think you need to be quite, yeah, throw it in here, and then you need to be quite tight to this wall and try and sort of try and maybe pull yourself a little bit to the left here. We sort of get it right on this occasion, and then yeah, if you go near this wall, it'll most likely invalidate you, whereas sometimes in other walls it doesn't do anything. But yeah, your 6th gear, and then into here you're dropping it to 4th. A little bit of brake, of course, and again, I mean, the front just slides and pushes, so you've got to just like predict how to judge this sort of entry. We do actually pick up quite a bit of understeer. We throw over this curb, and that looks like it would be invalid, but it probably wouldn't have been, as through here, again, we might throw it back to the original lap. The amount of curb you can take through here is just absolutely mind melting. And then yeah, brushing up against the wall here. We actually did marginally gain up to this point, but then into Raskas, we're in 2nd gear, and this corner's an absolute nightmare because sometimes you just cannot generate rotation for the life of you. You need to wind in a massive amount of front lock, but hope that you rotate enough on the braking without the front pushing to generate, generate the lap time. We open the corner up nicely. We're throwing it in really early. You can see already reaching a massive amount of steering lock, but we do just, we don't get that rotation, and we do sort of understeer ourselves past, and you can see I'm having to correct against the wall, and yeah, that was, that's what sort of cost us the run, and then we're offset a little bit, having to fight understeer into the final corner, and we lost quite a lot there, but yeah, I'll throw it back to the first lap and then we'll compare. Alright, so here we are back on the Delta lap, and yeah, as I was talking about through to back, we throw it in, and that was actually really, that's about as textbook as I can give, as I can just demonstrate it to you. It's just a small lift through there, and yeah, you just send it and pin it through the left. This time we move a bit more to the right, using very good road on the entry. Yeah, again, you sort of understeer as you get to the middle, and I mean, this is valid, by the way. And yeah, we do actually kiss that wall on the exit as well, but yeah, that just shows you how much you've got to push the limit through here. And yeah, into Raskas, this time a little bit more neutral and even through the corner, whereas in the last run we got a lot of push understeer from that sort of mid to exit phase. This was a lot more consistent. And then into the last corner, again, you're just sort of stabbing all the way through these slow sections. You're just throwing the front end in. It's sort of the Alonso steer method from back in the day. You're just throwing the front end in, waiting for its bite, and we got a really nice smooth run. And then the exit through here is really important as well. You do not want to end up on those sort of that sort of outside curb. We managed to pin it, flat just about now. Straight line it, get the DRS open, hug the wall as tight as you can, save the distance to the line, cut the beam, and yeah, that's our track guide of Monaco. And yeah, let me know if you found this useful. Let me know what you would like to see different with how I feedback through these laps, is if maybe I'm not explaining things well enough, or maybe you want certain things maybe explained a bit more simply. Yeah, just let me know what you guys would like from a track guide perspective, so that I can make these videos as good, as helpful as possible for you guys. Because yeah, if I'm missing things that I should be talking about for a track guide, just let me know, and I'll try and improve that for the future. But yeah, much love for watching the video. Thank you very much for watching. I just said basically the same thing there, but I'm very good at outros. No, like and subscribe, comment down below what you thought, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the future for another F124 video. So yeah, have a great rest of your day. Love yous all. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.